So by now, everyone's seen the Rabbit R1. Like it or hate it, most people think the design is amazing. But what people don't know is that the hardware design and engineering for the R1 was created by a company called Teenage Engineering. And if you dig into the company, you'll find some golden insights about hardware and design. Even the Nothing One earphones, this is the company behind it. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna talk about Teenage Engineering. See, everyone wants to build the next Apple, a hardware company that makes beautiful physical stuff. But people think that the next Apple will look like Apple. See, when the first few Apple Macs got popular, they looked like this. But at that time, IBM computers looked like this. So Apple was the different design. Most people didn't really like it because most people using computers were professionals. People didn't fully like it because it was different from the standard. So when we ask ourselves, what's the next Apple? We have to look at design that looks very different to the norm right now. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the Teenage Engineering products. I couldn't get my hands on any of this because most of their current products are out of stock. But the story of the company and their insights are very interesting. Teenage Engineering is a Swedish company founded in 2005 by Jesper, Jens and David, the three of whom had previously led the computer games company NetBaby World from 1999 to 2003. Their first product, the OP1, was introduced at the NAMM show in 2010. Shortly after the release, Teenage Engineering started doing something weird for a hardware company. They started producing several accessories. The company follows a very strict design ethos. They collaborated, for example, with the Swedish company Cheap Monday to make work clothes and field apparel for them. This company breeds design in all forms. They don't actually seem to care whether it's hardware or software or clothes. This is in stark contrast to some UI UX designers who make the same 5 purple websites for the same kind of companies. Design is a skill that is supposed to surpass platforms. There's a reason that even the videos Apple produces are kick-ass. But if you ask a generic UI UX designer to make a video, they'll say, "Oh, I'm not a video guy, I don't know anything about this." But there are some more insights about design from Teenage Engineering towards the end of this video. Let's get back. In 2018, Teenage Engineering announced a new line of audio equipment products, Frequenz, in collaboration with IKEA. Eventually, these sort of niche consumer electronics companies start doing business to business. So they started doing B2B, building cool products for businesses. On 22nd May 2019, a company called Panic announced Playdate, which is a new handheld video game console designed in collaboration with Teenage Engineering. The device featured a mechanical crank. It's like a crank, which is a signature Teenage Engineering edition. At $199, which is about 16,000 rupees, the Playdate is actually the cheapest way to experience Teenage Engineering's work. On February 25th, 2021, Teenage Engineering announced that it will partner with the British-based tech company Nothing to produce the design aesthetic of their products. Teenage Engineering later worked on the device The Year One, which was Nothing's first product. Now, what's the value of such beautiful design? It makes the product more expensive. But as Apple and Teenage Engineering have found out, beautiful, next-level design brings you die-hard fans. That's the value of beautiful hardware. Die-hard fans. Look at this guy who tattooed a Teenage Engineering product on his hand. If you go through their Reddit, if you go through their Ask Me Anythings, I'm telling you, the fan base is extremely loyal to them because differentiated design brings loyalty. Teenage Engineering has now become a brand where the minute a company says we're partnering with Teenage Engineering, people don't mind paying the extra premium for beautiful stuff. People now have disposable income. They have little extra cash they can spend and they don't mind spending a little more for beauty in their lives and houses. More importantly, take a look at this packaging. They have some Japanese in there because really good design has to borrow and spin off from multiple places and multiple cultures. The market that Teenage Engineering is really tapping is people who are deciding that they need dedicated devices for some stuff. Like Teenage Engineering put out the TP7, which is a digital tape recorder. See, I record a lot. I use recording as a replacement to writing sometimes. And Teenage Engineering built this product that just feels like it'll feel good. At a price, the grand price of 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh for a tape recorder. Add on top of that, the field bag, a small bag for 4,000 rupees. With AI getting better, a lot of the errors that you're going to need to press backspace for are gone. So a key feature of the TP7 is AI-based transcription, which automatically converts what you've said using audio to text like Whisper to transcribe and ChatGPT to summarize and rewrite. But the lesson to learn from this is how the hell are they marketing a tape recorder, bloody tape recorder at 1+ lakhs? And this is a masterclass. It's all about touch and feel. Read this from their website. Off the record, picture yourself in an interview situation. The reel on the TP7 is spinning slowly. The bright red record lamp is lit. Both the reel and the lamp indicates that a recording is taking place. The interview is going quite well. The situation gets heated. You're suddenly asked some personal questions. In that moment, you gently place a finger on the reel and pause the recording, allowing you to continue the interview off the record. It's like a nighttime story that you tell your kids, set with the vibes and moods. See, that's the thing. Beautiful design, high quality writing, and high quality video, they tap human emotions. When you see the Rabbit R1, it reminds you of a Pokédex. It reminds many nerds like me of our past. When you see these products, you feel some emotion. Because one, it's not an ordinary looking product. It's not average. And two, because they are marketed beautifully and modeled around nostalgia, feelings of the past. The reason you don't feel that today towards any phone is because you've seen too many phones. They all look the same. You've seen too many cars. They all look the same. They're normal. They're boring. And that's the takeaway for today. Everybody wants to be a designer designing the same type of website. But design is far more. It's about opening up human emotions. When you see a video, it's about, can you package the video better so people are more connected to you? It's not about copying the same current style website again and again. Here's a quote from the founder of Teenage Engineering, who actually went out and said that the designers and the design we're producing as a function of fast growth, venture capital, this push to IPOs, it's not healthy. I want to read out the quote for you. We only want to make great products, and when you don't focus only on making money and have reached a certain level, everything becomes about quality. Right now, there's a certain cultural fascination with fast growth, IPOs, and so on. But I want to go slow, really slow, and think long term. It takes time to do good things. You see, this cultural phenomenon of speed and growth at all costs is displayed in every startup. They all look the same. It's like fast food. It looks good, its taste is consistent, but then you feel horrible afterwards. That's the reason I'm not raising venture capital for my new company. I want to take my time. I want to do it slowly. And like a dish that's being simmered for the flavor, I don't mind the company taking forever to get the flavor of who I am inside of it. One more insight. While doing research for this video, I looked up and asked me anything that they did on Reddit. They were asked how they come up with these designs. This is what they said. We try to create things that's not out there. When we decide to create something new, everyone really needs to believe in it and to make it great, and the best way to do so is to do as unique things as possible to keep the inspiration going. We always work until the deadline and try to add as much fun stuff as possible. It's hard to stop when you have fun at work. So it's a reflection of the fun they have and the fact that they're trying to be unique at all times. They don't fit into a mold. The stark opposite side of this is all the young kids who have gone to the same types of engineering colleges for 4 years, are all going for the same front-end engineering roles, and have no unique differentiation. This is the alternate parallel. Teenage engineering has incredible gross margins. The gross margins of the future are going to be built on the emotions of people with disposable income. So you're going after a very specific profile of person who will buy from you. And teenage engineering is a masterclass in making that happen, because mostly the utility of what they build is commoditized. The term commoditized refers to the process by which products or services become indistinguishable from each other in the same category, like engineers all going for the front-end role, leading to competition primarily on price, which is all their salaries come down, rather than on features or quality. This typically happens when the market is flooded with similar products or services, making it difficult for consumers to discern a significant difference between them. A tape recorder is cheap. Even if people on Twitter point out that they're a status and luxury item manufacturer, people will still buy. The more average your product looks, the less your gross margin. So you're functioning, making no profit, no margin, you're not able to do research and development, your product doesn't look good. And as much as people come out and say, I want to build really affordable companies, I want to give these things for free, over time you realize that when your gross margin is low, you can't actually do research and development. You can't actually build great products. So you're stuck competing with price with everybody else, And we've seen some of these stories take place in India. Micromax, Carbon, Lava. At some point, Micromax was making billions of dollars in India. Now they are sub $100 million in revenue, right? So the minute you build a generic product and say, I'm going to be extremely affordable, it's a very noble thought and a very noble philosophy until you die 5 years later. Whereas like Apple and Teenage Engineering, when you have margins but also build really high quality product, take the time, take the process to do it well, then you end up with better gross margins to make more beautiful products and actually build a good company while at it. I want to end with a quote from the CEO in an interview. And I took away a lot from this particular quote. I really like to learn new things. The learning process fascinates me. I want to understand how the world works. So I go from area to area and then I try to make connections. What I've learned is that many things are basically the same in different disciplines. So if you work with fashion or design or filmmaking or even banking, you know it's basically the same principles that have a different shape. But if you've moved from one to another, then you start to see a pattern. Everything I do is some kind of experiment. And I've been surprised many times that if you have the will to try things, chances are that it works. Thank you and make sure you subscribe. Bye.